We're Trent Allie, and after almost 10 months, we're taking the van on her first pandemic road trip.
We have so much food and snacks and everything for the road. We're basically only gonna have to stop to get gas, and we're very good at staying sanitary when going to gas stations.
There's a couple hurdles right off the bat.
Well, I just filled it up with gas, and I went to turn the cap, and like you always do, you just turn until it clicks, and I turn until it clicks, and now it's locked, and we don't have the key.
And we're a little out of practice.
And guess what? I-80 was closed.
We're on the wrong road.
Next thing you know, we are in Kansas.
But seeing family made it all worth it.
Once water starts dripping through the sheetrock, you usually don't have much time.
Subscribe and come along today as we take a break from building and enjoy a relaxing holiday vacation. Does it smell? Oh. Ew. What
smells like money if you're a plumber. Well guys, we are getting ready right now to disembark, or embark? Disembark?
Embark.
We're getting ready to embark on a journey across the country, having contact with no human beings, doing nothing but stopping at gas stations.
It's Christmas time in the city, or it's about to be. I'm really excited. My parents flew out to surprise me for our wedding in June, but I haven't seen my brother, or really anybody else, since coronavirus started. And honestly, we're not gonna really see anybody. It's just my parents, unfortunately. It's a really pared down Christmas for everybody's health and safety, but I cannot wait to just spend some time relaxing with my family, doing nothing. Maybe we'll watch some Christmas movies, but that's about it.
So we're getting ready to leave right now. We are going to be doing some very light filming over the next 2 weeks because this is our vacation. So we're gonna be taking it easy, but we're still gonna be taking you with us. Don't worry.
Are you ready?
We have so much food and snacks and everything for the road. We're basically only gonna have to stop to get gas, and we're very good at staying sanitary when going to gas stations. So this is the better option. We're gonna be taking the van, we're driving across country. There's no way I would go into an airport or get on an airplane right now, especially during COVID, not to mention I hate flying, you guys already know this. So this is a perfect scenario for me. It's probably gonna take us 3 days to get to DC, and that's fine. So we've been driving for a few hours. We're in like basically central Utah on the east side, heading east. And we're coming, through really clear areas, and all of a sudden we come up to this big inversion. Now Salt Lake City gets inversions all the time, which is where there's like a high pressure front that forces all the air and traps it in the valley, and exhaust and moisture and humidity and everything accumulate, and it makes this layer of clouds that nothing can escape. And it's not rare there, but I feel like it's rare in a lot of other places. And we're just driving through the mountains, and there's this big inversion, and we're about to drive into it. And we're entering the inversion. It looks like something out of a horror movie.
Yeah. Well guys, our first night sleeping in our van was a huge success. We didn't film it because we were having such an incredible time, but I wanted to pick up the camera and share a story of what's happening in our lives right now.
Also, Allie brushed over the detail of taking I-70 over Loveland Pass at 11,000 feet in the middle of December was a horrible idea, and it was snowing and we barely made it through.
Yeah, that was the real reason we didn't film last night. It was very stressful. We drove through the snow in the dark because we thought, oh, instead of taking I-80 on a very long, exposed, windy pass, let's take I-70 through a very short, intense, steep pass. Well, it wasn't short when you're going 40 miles an hour in the blizzard, but
yeah. It was a bad idea.
We made it.
In retrospect. However, now it's the next day. We've made it to Kansas. I would say we're probably about halfway to DC. And I've gotten gas in the van a handful of times, no problem. We have a gas cap that has a key so that people couldn't like steal or siphon our gas. And it just hasn't been locked. So when we got our van back from Argentina, we couldn't find the keys anywhere, but it wasn't a problem because the gas cap just wasn't locked, so I didn't have to worry about it. Well, I just filled it up with gas, and I went to turn the cap, and like you always do, you just turn until it clicks, and I turn until it clicks, and now it's locked, and we don't have the key, and the key is nowhere in the van. I'm assuming the bandits found the key and thought it was to a treasure chest or something, and they took it with them. I have no idea, but I don't even have any tools to like break the cap off. I'm really worried actually right now about this because we need a gas cap.
Well, and, our tank is full. That's good.
The tank is full, but we're not gonna make it to DC, and I don't know what we're gonna do. Probably gonna go and try and find a Walmart and buy some tools and break it off. I don't know what we're gonna do. All right, so after much debate, I finally figured out how to fix the gas cap. So as you can see, it's locked, and I can turn it 100 times, and it would never open. But if I just put a lot of pressure on it, it opens right up. I'm not trying to teach people bad habits here, but if you're ever in a scenario where you get stuck like that, help me out.
So we made it to my parents in Washington, D.C., and it's been an incredible week of relaxing and just enjoying not building a house.
Not only that, we got to celebrate an awesome Christmas celebration with Allie's family, and well, just her parents and her brother is all that we allowed into our little small COVID Christmas celebration.
Normally we have a huge Christmas with all of my extended family, and this year it was all over Zoom, which is probably similar to what many of you experienced. So it's just my parents, my brother, and Trent and I, which is way different than normal, but we're making the best of it.
I want to say Merry Christmas and echo what you were all saying, which is I wish we were together, of course, in person, but this is the next best thing, and I'm so thankful to be together in this family.
And then for those of you guys that didn't know, my birthday is actually the day right after Christmas, so we had a nice little birthday celebration for me, which was awesome, and I couldn't be happier about it.
Happy birthday to you! Yeah!
Now it's been a few days of kicking back and relaxing, and we've got one day where the weather is exceptionally nice out here in DC.
And we're spending it doing Trent's favorite activity.
We're going golfing, baby.
We've been trying to take advantage of the weather here because it's much milder than it is in Utah. And basically for the whole winter in Utah, not only are we building nonstop and have no time to do anything fun, but it's just way too snowy and cold to golf. So my dad has been golfing pretty much his whole life. My brother hasn't been golfing in a very long time, but we took him out once or twice this week and he's amazing. It is enough to piss me off because I've been practicing really hard all summer and I'm terrible. But the four of us are here, we're gonna have a good day. We're just here to have fun, and maybe I can beat Trent. We'll see.
Let's see what happens.
Who's gonna win out of the four of us?
Well, I rewatched Happy Gilmore last night, so probably will you.
you guys can see, some time has passed. What can I say? We're on vacation. And look at this incredibly beautiful sunset that we've got out here. We had a great time playing golf.
I didn't beat Trent.
Allie did not beat me.
But Trent didn't beat anybody either.
No, I did. Everyone but your dad, I think. We both had a lot of fun. Allie's dad and Allie's brother also had a lot of fun with us. Winter golf is a different beast. There's a leaky drain line above us from the kitchen that's actually plugged right now, and it's spewing water into
the ceiling.
in between the floor and the ceiling upstairs. So we have to puncture a hole in this. Oh, do you see that when I push on it?
Oh, don't get crushed, Trent.
You see when I push on that?
Yeah.
Oh, that was forcing that water out.
Yeah.
In 1 year now, so we had Super Bowl weekend was the first one.
Okay.
Then
February 1st.
literally a month or two later was over there.
Okay.
Then we had something small next near the furnace.
Oh no.
Now this is number 4.
You guys need to move to Utah. Get out of this house.
This is the 4th time in 12 months.
Yeah.
But there's
What are the pipes made out of?
that's old copper. They don't use copper anymore.
Yeah.
They use PVC.
Yeah. Does it smell?
Oh.
Ew. What
Smells like money if you're a plumber.
My parents are having a minor heart attack because it sounds like they've had this problem where there's been a random leak that they've discovered in the ceiling of a random room in their house 4 times over the last 12 months. Things are starting to break down, and we keep trying to tell them, move to Utah, just come out with us, sell the house and move to Utah. Now that you're basically empty nesters, you don't need to be here anymore. And they're very attached to the DC area. So hopefully this will help sway them a little bit, because this seems like a problem that is not going away.
I was washing the dishes earlier and I noticed that there was some drainage issues, but I thought, you know, we'd just run some hot water and maybe let it sit and let it drain slowly. And sometimes things will kind of unblock themselves. This house is like 50 years old, so a pipe that's 2 inches has so much gunk on the inside of it that it normally gets down to where like you can barely fit your birdie finger through it with gunk over time. And so I just assumed that, you know, some food or whatever got into the pipe and it was gonna work itself out, or we were hoping it was gonna work itself out. Your dad came down here to look and he said there's water leaking downstairs. So we came down here and it was like slowly starting, I need another bucket. It was slowly starting to drip. It was slowly starting to drip through the sheetrock. And once water starts dripping through the sheetrock, you usually don't have much time.
I love my mom's dish glove you're
Like
wearing.
that?
Yeah. For anyone that's ever lived in a van and smelled what the gray water tank smells like after a few days of not flushing all of it, it's almost worse than a black water tank. It's disgusting.
And that's a few days. This is 50 years. Big difference.
This town's so
My fear was that.
What it is that probably that sheetrock, until it can spread behind the toilet, there's a big drain pipe.
we're almost there. I'm loving this feeling of something new. Just right what I needed. Take me there.
Take the right.
Yeah.
Goes over to that bay that I was just looking down, and goes straight up into the sink.
Trent went to go take a shower. We thought, okay, we've identified the issue and tomorrow we'll call a plumber, we'll get it fixed. But they're still trying to do as much diagnostic, identifiable reporting as they can. They're having a really good time.
I'm never giving up on you. I'm never giving up on you.
Good morning.
We've been in Maryland for 2 weeks. We had an incredible time hanging out with Allie's family. We told you all that we were going to be going on vacation for 2 weeks, and that's pretty much the last time that we talked to you was 2 weeks ago. And this morning, it's early, I'm really tired, and we've got 32 hours of driving ahead of us. We are getting ready to load everything up into the van and hit the road one last time, headed back home. And it's really strange because right now I'm just getting all of these like memories of when we were here last spring before we headed back to Utah without the van, and it was like the beginning of the pandemic, and we were rushing across the nation, and we were sleeping in the truck, and it was like nothing short of miserable.
It's true.
But we made it, and we made it to my mom's house, and then we just like set up refuge and headed down this journey of living on the farm and getting ready to get our property and start building our house. And here we are almost a year later. We had a nice Christmas celebration. We had a lot of fun, but now we've got to get in the van. The van is incredible. Now, it's definitely not set up to be like lived in full time because we just got it back from South America, but it's an amazing place to be able to sleep, to be able to get food. I mean, we had a great time on the way out here. I have no worries on the way back about the van. However,
The weather is a different story.
Yeah, it has been getting kind of crazy. Within the next 3 days on the way back to Utah,
Of course.
we're going to run into some inclement weather.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Take care of
Good to see you, Russell.
Yeah, good to see you. Take care of yourself.
Love you.
Take care of Allie. Take care of
Frank.
Frank.
Oh, sweetheart. I miss you already. It was a short 2 weeks. It just blew by.
Right.
Too short.
I feel like we just got here, but we'll just have to see you again soon.
We will.
Yeah. Stay safe.
Please be safe.
Don't touch anybody.
Don't.
Don't go near anybody. And we'll see you in Utah soon.
Yeah. Wonderful.
All right.
Leaving this place, the sun's about to break. You're riding shotgun.
You know, we both know how long this drive is, and every time we start it in either direction, I'm like excited and I can't wait to get there. Like right now, I'm excited to get home, to get back to Terry. So we've really got our fingers crossed that we don't run into any inclement weather, that the clouds part and the roads thaw and we just zippity-doo-dah along the interstate and we don't run into any issues and we can keep a relatively high speed the entire time. And hopefully we get this drive done in 3 days. Could be 4. We'll see.
So on the way home, we are not making the same mistake twice. We're gonna take I-80 instead of I-70. It's a little bit more exposed and prone to high winds, but it's definitely not as steep and winding and hopefully icy or snowy. We'll see. The forecast calls for snow, so we're just gonna take it slow and hope for the best, but it can't be any worse than what we encountered in Colorado.
It's really weird to be traveling by van during the pandemic. We always wear a mask if we have to go in anywhere, but we don't have to go in anywhere because we have a toilet right here, we have food in the fridge, and anytime I get out to do the gas, I'm not near anyone. I come back in, I sanitize my hands, everything's good. But we feel disconnected from all these people. It's a strange feeling, but to be completely honest, I'm just extremely grateful that we have the van and we can make this trip, because seeing Allie's parents and Allie's brother for the Christmas holiday was like a special treat that we actually didn't think was going to be able to happen. But since our van came back just in time, we were able to do it, and couldn't be happier. an absolute lovely night last night, and to be entirely honest, I was hoping we would wake up and be able to get a little bit of sunshine. I was gonna charge our solar panels, and there's like fog and frost and you can't see more than like 100 yards. So that's not the case. Hopefully later,
Whoa!
excuse me, Mr. Semi.
Scary.
Hopefully later down the road, we're gonna have some sunshine that's gonna charge our solar panels.
The one thing that I was extremely excited about is that this is basically our bed for the last few years that we've made extremely comfortable. And every time I climb into it, it's like flat, plush, exactly the firmness that I like. And after coming from my parents' futon on the ground of their basement for the last 2 weeks, the bed here is amazing. It's like a dream. So at least we were...
No offense to Allie's parents.
Yeah.
We love staying there. It's
Yeah.
just the mattress is... It's not like our mattress. Our
Exactly.
mattress is special.
So we have about, what, 25 hours left of our drive. Hopefully it clears up soon. At least we got a pretty good night's sleep, and it's not snowing hard. There's pretty low visibility, but we got some coffee. We're hitting the road. We stopped and got gas. Things were beautiful. The air is clear, you can see for a while, the sun is out, our solar is charging. We have about half a tank of gas now. We've been driving for 2 hours.
Forever.
And we're on the wrong road.
I-80 just turned into I-35. Next thing you know, we are in Kansas. And I was like, this doesn't look right. And I look at the map, and we're going the wrong way. We're heading south. So now we've got to make a short little detour through Backroads, Kansas to get back to I-80.
Oh my goodness.
You know, it's
This is all part of van life. The problem is, during normal van life, it actually wouldn't be a problem at all, because like what we love to do is go explore. And what we're doing right now is just a road trip to get from A to B. We're not making any additional stops. We're powering through because we're trying to stay as safe as possible and be really socially distanced from anything. As well as we have to get back to work. We have to build this house. We're not really in vacation explore mode. We're just in like put your head down and grind and drive to Utah mode. So, needless to say, I'm thrilled with Trent right now.
that means Allie's very angry.
Oh! Wow. Oh, be careful! I'm sure it's not as terrifying when you're actually the one driving, but as just the passenger, first of all, I get motion sick really easily, so I'm trying to like focus on looking straight ahead as far into the distance as possible, but the road is just going like this over and over again. Trent's loving it, at least.
It's pretty entertaining, actually. The sky is like huge and beautiful,
Yeah, it is.
and just making me wallow in my regret of missing whatever turn we missed.
I know.
because we are in the middle of nowhere on like some 45. Like this is South America. We're back in like our South American exploring, traveling across countries that don't have big interstates, and it's beautiful.
It is.
I've been driving all night long to the place where I belong, back to where I started from, the only place that I call home. 17 around the bend, drinking with my old best friend, listening to the radio. I thought we'd stay until the end.
I don't know if you can see any of those trailers, but they're all skirted with the same purple foam insulation that we put around Terry to keep her underside warm throughout the winter.
We're not the only people with a purple bottom.
In other news, are we any closer to I-80 West?
I don't know where we are. What I do know is if we didn't have modern day technology, I would have given up.
We'd be back in
Because
Mexico.
We would be in Texas probably by now. I have no idea. It's really bad, but
Yeah.
we're pushing through. We're about to get on what I think is an interstate, which is going to link up with I-80, and the sun's about to go down. So stay tuned. We've got more exciting things on the way.
Guess this
What's up, guys? Good morning. We finally made it to Wyoming. Late last night, we made it to Cheyenne, Wyoming, and guess what? I-80 was closed. That's fine. It happens all the time in the winter, and it looked like today was going to be a nice day. They just needed to clear the roads from some snow that came through yesterday. As you go through Rawlings, you get pretty high in elevation, and it's always windy out here. It gets icy, the roads get dangerous, so they have to maintain it, so they shut it down pretty frequently. So we pulled into this little travel stop here. We spent the night, and now we woke up and it's nice and sunny and beautiful. One problem is we don't really have good service here, so I had to use the Wi-Fi here at the travel stop, but that is okay because I was protected by Surfshark. And Surfshark is the sponsor of today's video. They are a big friend of the channel. They are a VPN, which is a virtual private network. It's basically a company that built an app that goes on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, on your laptop, and all it does is it encrypts your information going in and coming out of your computer to the internet. Now this just stops anyone on an unsecured network from obtaining your information. They can obtain anything from your bank account, social security number, your emails, your text messages. They can get a hold of anything if you're on an unsecured network. So an unsecured network is something that usually doesn't require a password, like a Wi-Fi at a truck stop or a library or maybe at Starbucks. Any of those are unsecured networks, and when you log on, you are actually being very vulnerable to people that are trying to get a hold of your information. So if you don't currently have a VPN, I highly recommend using Surfshark. It's totally affordable and it'll keep you safe. Click the link in our description and you'll actually get 83% off plus 3 months free. So they give you a huge trial period to make sure you love it, and I promise you're going to. Thanks again to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. We got about 7 hours. And then we're gonna be home. This is one of the reasons that I-80 is scary and I don't like it. Side winds, snow, 40-mile-per-hour gusts, and black ice. Oh, a deadly combination.
This guy's just blowing over.
Yeah, because he's getting blown around too.
Like, this is not worth it at all.
When you feel the wind, like I can feel the wind blow and it's pushing my front tires across the black ice, so I'm like turning and we're like going this direction.
Wow.
And that's why all these guys are getting to the side of the road, because they all have like really tall stuff that's susceptible to tipping over.
Wow. Black ice and blowing snow.
It's 20 degrees, in case anybody's wondering. Black ice, blowing snow, 40-mile-per-hour winds. Extremely stressful. This is why I hate I-80, because it's like always crosswinds with ice or snow on the road. It's just like a recipe for disaster all the time in the winter. They close it all the time. This is why I wanted to take I-70 at the beginning of this video, but as you guys saw, that was also not a great idea. Basically, this sucks.
Just fly if you have the chance.
I hate flying worse, but this sucks. So I would say this is like just as nerve-wracking as doing I-70, but we're not going down a like 6 to 8% grade with mountain passes that have huge drop-offs with no guardrails. Like that is like, if you lose control, you're almost like,
you're gonna die.
You have a really good chance of dying. And here we could slide off the road and, you know, we could tip over, we could roll, but we could also just kind of plow into some snow and some sagebrush. And you can kind of determine how fast you're going, you know? We could slow down to like 30 or 40 if we want.
Yeah, at least it's not steep.
Yeah, going down the mountains on I-70, we're like riding the brakes the entire time, and we're still doing like 40 because you don't want to like lose traction trying to slow down, but you don't want to go too fast.
On S-curves in the dark.
Basically, the Rockies are no joke. This is the upper Rockies, and down there in Colorado is the lower Rockies. And basically, they all just suck. And in the wintertime, driving over the Rockies probably used to not even happen. Like, you just couldn't do it. It's like In the 50s, it was like, oh, we gotta wait until summer to go back over to the other side of the Rockies. Ah! Or maybe they just busted out the old horse and buggy, just trotted along in the frozen tundra.
Those poor horses.
What's actually really crazy is like the pioneers that settled Utah, they like came through these areas with like hand carts. And some of the people like tried to come in the wintertime, and most of them like always died because these winters in Wyoming are absolutely insane. But it's crazy to think that people walked across the United States and basically did what we just did in a vehicle. Like, it blows my mind.
So what you're saying is we got nothing to complain about.
We have nothing to complain about. We got heat, we got a radio, we got all the time in the world. It's just a little stressful, that's all.
Well, after 2 weeks, 30 hours of driving each way, and a lot more weather than we expected to encounter, we are finally pulling back up in Utah to Trent's grandparents' house, where our car is waiting. We're gonna load everything up and head back home. And honestly, I can't wait.
I shone bright, then my journey was over. What I sought when I ran was back where I began. No matter the rain, no matter the storm, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Leave open the
There it
gate.
is.
Don't turn off the light.
Still standing, believe it or not. Just as we left it. A little bit of a mess, but not too bad.
I love it here.
I'm so glad we made it. We did make it kind of right before the sun goes down. However, I've got to get the tractor out. I've got to plow the driveway. We've got to unload the 4Runner. We've got to get the water turned back on, do all kinds of stuff here. So our work is not done, but we hope you guys had a great time coming on a little trip with us.
I am so excited to be back. We have so much work to do on the house, and a lot of snow to go play in.
So the next time we see you guys, we're gonna be getting back at the house. We're gonna show you guys how it held up while we're gone. I'm really excited to get working again. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you show us by giving us a big thumbs up on this video. If you are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss a video in the future.
Thank you again to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. Click the link in our description to check them out.
And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Adios.